Greetings. Welcome once again to the Yang Style long-form class on PTTV. I'm Michael Gilman. Well, this last weekend, spent some time with a lot of wonderful people and some really excellent teachers, amongst whom, if that's a proper way to say that, was Master Gao Fu, Madame Gao Fu, who was 86 years old. And just the most wonderful person you could imagine. A master of Tai Chi and Qigong, and just an incredible person. You know, she doesn't speak English very well. If she's she's learning, but has a few words. But two of the words that come through clearly are teach me, teach me. So every time she's in any kind of a situation, she's always wanting to learn new things, willing to do anything. 86 years old, very inspirational, very inspirational. So whenever I get lazy and kind of fall back upon myself, I think about Madame Gao Fu and teach me, teach me. It's a really good, it's a wonderful lesson. And her specialty is working with the internal aspects of Tai Chi and Qigong. And if you ever have the opportunity to be with a true master, you must take it, because it's just being around somebody like that is well worth whatever the expense and trouble is. Yeah. Okay, so this week we have, we're continuing on, quickly approaching the final straightaway towards home, and it's exciting, and we'll see. So I haven't yet really thought about what I'm going to do after we're finished this, but we'll see. Okay, so let's loosen up, turn the waist. So keep your feet relaxed, pressing down. All of those of you at home who are falling asleep, hear that? Wake you up a little bit, okay? All right, rolling down. Rolling up. Shake. Light and free and easy. You know, if you're sitting at your computer or sitting down a lot reading, you know, make sure you get up occasionally and shake. It's really important. Otherwise, things stiffen and tighten, and then it's very difficult to allow them to let go. They really hold on. But if you do, you know, every 15 minutes or so, get up and just shake a little bit, and then you can get back to work. It's okay. But just don't sit there. Shake. Okay. Turn the waist. Rolling down. Rolling up. Okay, Wuji, integrating. Wuji stance. Feet pressing down, knees soft, pelvis relaxed, top of the head lifting, chin slightly tucked under, shoulders and upper ribs suspended from above. Breathing in and out through the nose, directing the breath to the lower belly. Take an integration breath. right. Let's do for our warm-up a little Qigong, Panglu Qian, the four basic, most basic energies, Panglu Qian, ward off, roll back, press, and push. And we'll just do a little standing in place Qigong here. So, weight evenly distributed, shift to the left, open up the right, shift, step forward, okay? Now, Pong is energy that's moving up and out. Now, as you do this, you want the energy to be coming from the legs up to the torso. Torso turns, and the energy goes up and is expressed in the hands. Pong. Lu is sort of the reverse of that. You're coming back, and the energy is again returning down. Let's do those two. Pong, Lu. Pong, Lu. I think inhale works nice for this, and exhale for this. You can do it the other way around, which is fine. But what we want to make sure that we're doing here is that the torso is doing the work. Now we have what's called Dui La, or balance of energies. So as we Pong, as this, my body and arms are moving up, there's an energy at the back moving downward. It's like there's a stretching energy into my low back at the same time. It's like we're taking a rubber band, and not only is it moving up and out, but it's moving down and back. See? And when we do Lu, or roll back, the energy, instead of coming down, as this energy is pulling down, the counterbalance energy is coming upward, and it comes up to the base of the neck. So here we feel it in the lower back, counter the Dui La, and here, as the body comes back, it comes up and to the back of the neck. So Pong, inhale, Lu, exhale, energy comes up to the back. Pong, and Lu. Pong, and Lu. Okay, let's change feet. So this time, we'll step, well, we just stepped ahead. We'll step at the right foot. Okay? Pong, and Lu. Pong, energy moving, not only is it moving out into the arms, but it's moving into the low back. And Lu, not only is it moving down to the leg, but it's also moving up to the base of the neck. Pong, and Lu. This has the, Pong has the feeling of sort of expanding a balloon. And Lu is sort of deflating it slowly. Pong. Do you recognize this movement, right? As right push upward at the moment. Right push upward. And roll back. Right push upward. Pong and Lu. Good. Now, Shogong, let's gather this energy. All right, now let's do Ji and An, or press and push. Now in the form, when we talk about push, we bring the energy, this is really the on portion, and then we push it out. You'll see most people do push like this. There's really not, they don't get the real pure on quality, which is on is defined as energies moving downward. So, on this, let's step ahead the left foot. Now, let's stay with the right because you're more familiar with doing your press in this direction. So we've done G, roll back, Lu. So press is two hands moving in the same direction. And the Dui law for this movement is out the center of the back. So as this is coming out, there's a feeling of expanding the center of the back. Yeah? And on, as you come back, you push down. And as you push down, the energy goes all the way to the top of the head for on. So, G's out the back, and on is down. G, on. You can inhale, exhale. G, and on. Again, this is all coming from the ground, center of the back, top of the head. Center of the back, top of the head. Center of the back, top of the head. Change feet. G, on. G, on. Press, push, press, push, press, push. Okay. Qigong. Okay, so let's put all of these four together. It makes a very nice meditative Qigong exercise. Step ahead. Pong. Lu. G. On. Pong. Lu. G. On. The Dui law, low back, base of the neck, center of the back, top of the head. Change feet. Pong, Lu, G, on, Pong, Lu, G, on. G, on. All right, so let's review last week's movements, go through last week's movements, and then we're going to add in a few movements, and my assistant this week will be Stephanie Morel. So let's go from push. We'll do single whip, cloud's hands. One, two, three. Waving hands like clouds down. One, two. One, two, three. Okay, I'll do it going the other direction. Single whip. Neutralize. Neutralize. Step and strike with the side. The kicking coming in, we turn, grab, and throw. And coming 2 feet together. Join, step, one, and follow. Two, three. All right, that's not too bad. So I introduced last week the last single whip. The next single whip, which was following the cloud's hands. I explained it last week. I'll give you a brief review this week, and then we'll move on. So let me show you the movements we're going to do, and Stephanie can kind of get herself over here. All right. So we just did the last cloud's hands. So single whip looks like the other two. Remember, come into center, step. We're going to actually be throwing somebody over our leg. Then here is join, pull, and strike. The next movement is called high pat on horse and plain cross hands. High pat on horse looks very much like the first high pat on horse that we had. And plain cross hands, which you'll see the application for. Turn and cross foot kick with sole. We're going to turn behind us, then shift, open, and kick downward with sole. Step up and punch downward. Then we're going to repeat ward off left, right push upward. See, here's all of our pong, lu, G, and on. Okay, so I think if we get through this section, I think we'll be doing good today. Okay, so Steffi, if you come on in. Okay, greetings, greetings. Okay, so let's review the application for the single whip following waving hands like clouds. So in the form, we would be facing in this direction. Okay, so we'll just demonstrate it here so that you can see it. Now, in this movement, Stephanie's going to be tacking in with her left side. Okay? Okay, so it's a punch to the center. So what I'm going to do is neutralize closing her up, step behind her, bringing the hand up, and throw her over the leg. So she comes in, step in, and throw her out. Okay? That's the first part, you know. The second part is very similar, as I said last week, very similar to what we did before, only this time the opponent is going to be punching towards me with her left hand to the center. So as I do that, I neutralize it, closing her up. Add a little bit of a pull, which exposes her, and then just hit on in. It's just those little pulls, as I said, they're really disconcerting. So once again, so she comes in, it's neutralize and pull. Okay. Next, it's a high pattern horse plain cross hands. So in this one, she's going to be punching towards the lower belly with her left hand again. She's left-handed, if those of you who don't know, right? Okay. So and this person is just sort of slightly right here to me. Okay. So as she comes in, I sink back, neutralize the energy in and past me, closing her up. I then step inside her center and attack up into the throat or neck. Here, you can probably see it better on this direction. Okay, she comes in, I neutralize, step in, and so this is pulling downward here, and this is coming up underneath here. That's called high pattern horse plain cross hands. Okay, the next movement, after that, the opponent either grabs or is going to grab from behind. So we'll say this person grabs. So what we're going to do is just a little turn, pow, hitting down here. It doesn't take too much. And as the person falls back, we then kick and strike down. Gary Nelson is working the camera. He's smiling. He loves to see poor Stephanie get all whapped up, right? So once again, she goes to grab. We strike and kick and strike. Okay, that's 1, 2. Okay, next is a lower kind of a punch with her left side. This is going to be a double punch. So she's going to punch in, and I'm going to neutralize her with this hand. Then she's going to punch again, and I'm going to neutralize this. Now I have her open. This is sort of a standoff here, but since I'm sort of inside her, I'm going to then come in and punch to her lower body. So if she's just punching, so it's going to be like 1, 2, 3 kind of thing, little fast. Now, the first punch we had, there's a lower punch. Do you remember the first lower punch? Which generally thought of as a punch. It's a little bit lower. Say if you had a stance, like a bow stance or something. That it's it's sometimes called a punch to the knee. It's a lower punch, punch downward. Sometimes it's even done even further. But the first lower punch is a little bit lower. This one is not quite as low. Usually they think about it to the lower belly or the crotch or something like that. So it's not quite as low a punch. Okay, now, after I punch downward, she grabs me. Now my body is inclined. As I withdraw and push it down, if you notice, and just kind of hold on a little bit. You notice how, if she's relaxed, her head is going to kind of bobs up like that? See, how many of you used to have little Cupid dolls in the back? Oh, okay. So as I come down, you see here she bobs up. I'm just going to, instead of bonging her away as I usually have, here I'm going to use this as a kind of a slicing strike upward. Just cut right through her. Okay, so boom, whoosh. And as she falls back, I'm just going to come up and whoosh, this side. So as opposed to throwing her where we're going to be, slicing her up. Whoosh, whoosh. And then we do the usual roll back, press forward, and push. Okay, I think that'll be it for now. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh boy. So let's review this once again. Now, I'll do it facing you. We'll break it up, and then just talk about it, and then we'll break it up. First, following Cloud's hands. Remember, she came in. I grabbed here to help close her up and neutralize her, step behind, and throw her over the leg. Another person is over here. They are attacking with their left hand. I join, touching, pull a little, and strike. Next, the punch is coming to the lower belly. I sink back and neutralize, step inside, and poke upwards. Next, we're going to be grabbed or attacked from the back. We're going to shift back, hit, and then kick. We're then going to, then there was a punch with the left hand, a punch with the right hand, and we're then going to return with a lower punch. She grabs, we press down and slice up, shift, follow with a slice up, and roll back, press forward. Okay, so let's look at first the single whip. The foot movements this is the same as we've had basically two other Cloud's hands following the single whips. This is the same foot movements basically. So after waving hands like clouds, turn out the front toe, turn out the left toe to 45 to the corner. Sink the weight. Step straight ahead, nice and wide. Shift the weight onto the foot. The second part, pivot in the toe, step down the heel, and shift the weight forward. Okay, so it's the same foot movements. So let's do it. I'll do it with the hands, but pay special attention to the feet. Even though I'm doing the hands, but do pay special attention to what the feet are doing here. The feet are turning out. This is a weighted foot turn to the corner, sinking onto that foot. Do not narrow your stance here. There's a tendency to want to come inward like this. No. Because you're going to be stepping off to the side, the right side of this person here. So step nice and wide. Don't add any weight. Don't fall onto the foot. Step down. Then we're going to shift, turn the waist so your basically nose points to the right knee. Then we're going to sink, turning the body halfway, pulling in the toe. We're going to step the heel. Then shift the weight. You should have to turn in the back toe some. Okay. So once again, with the hands, but concentrating mostly on the feet. Turn out to the corner, shift. Step straight ahead, wide, throw over the leg. Pull in, step down the heel, and shift, and you probably should have to turn in the back toe. Okay, hand movements. So weight is all on the left foot. Come into center position. Step out. And actually, as you step out, the right hand starts to come up inside. Then you're going to split the energy. You're going to pull down with the left hand, and the right hand is going to just travel fairly horizontally across. Now, do you remember the first one that we did like this, after the first cloud's hands? It was a striking motion. It was pretty much the same thing, only we use this as a strike. Now we're going to use it as a push. So it's a little bit different energy. Sinking, we basically come to center. Step out. Now we're attached with the left hand, we're grabbing. This hand comes up to be placed on the person's body. Now you're going to open up and throw them over the leg. Next, the other person is going to be attacking towards the face. We sink the elbow, joining with them. Now their hand is attached to the outside of my hand. I pull a little using the torso. Be careful not to let, when you pull, to let this hip, your right hip collapse. Keep your right hip in the same place. You're just pulling, and then shift the weight forward and turn in the back toe. The palm faces outward, and don't stretch out too far. Always keep a little relaxation in the elbow. Turning out, weighted foot turn, come into center. Join with the energy with the left hand, step behind, the other right hand comes up to be placed on the body, and split, throwing them over the leg. Touch the toe as you join, touch the heel as you pull, and strike out. Coming into center. Join with both hands. Open, throw them over the leg. Join, dingbo on toe. Pull, dingbo on heel. Strike, shift, both stance. Coming center. Stepping behind, open. Join, pull, strike. Okay, one more time from the front in the proper. I'll do one extra cloud hands just to get the flow. The last one. Three. Come center. Join, join, open. Join, pull, strike out. Okay, high pattern horse, plain cross hands. One, shift the weight back. Now this is the same planes cross hands as we did previously. We shifted into dingbo on heel. We brought the Right hand into our center, kind of into our guarded position. The other hand relaxes. Okay. So 1, turn, nose points to the right knee. 2, as you pull in, the right hand is going to press down at the same time the left hand pulls in. This is just like, it looks kind of like step back and repulse monkey and that sort of thing. 1, 2. Now, if you notice, the obvious timing of this movement would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But the obvious isn't always the correct one. In this case, you know, every movement has, we keep talking about this, every movement has a place where everything comes together and then it makes its change, when yin changes to yang. So you don't want to have little things arrive at the place, the changing over place, one at a time. They all have to arrive there at the same time. Now, if you remember, the punch was coming in. I sank back and neutralized it, stepped in, and poked. Now, if I came back and neutralized, then I stepped, and then I did this, Stephanie would have had a chance to recover. What I want her to be doing is I want her energy to continue in, and then when I poke, I not only get my body's energy going towards her, but her own energy. It's like a car, you know, 2 cars going 5 miles an hour is a lot more than 1 car going 5 miles an hour into a wall. You know what the idea, you get the idea. So on this 1, pull the left toe in, and by the time the right hand gets down, the left foot is touching and rooted. Then you shift forward. Now, let's come to this camera over here. So I want to be, see, I'm straight on. If we did this movement straight on, so here's single whip. So, coming back, turning. Neutralizing and step. Now, if you notice, this foot is not facing directly towards you. It's facing slightly to the right because I'm coming inside of Stephanie. I'm coming, even if she's standing in front of me, I'm coming inside of her. I want to step inside. I can't, if I step straight ahead, I'm not going to get the correct angle for this particular application. So it's a little different than anything that we have done here. We shift back, neutralize, step slightly in, then shift your weight forward. The final hand movement looks a lot like the first raise hands. You see. There is a pressure down here. You see I'm pressing down with the right hand and the left hand is moving outward. There's this kind of opposition going on here. Splitting of energy. So once again, so it's 1, pull in to Dingbo and toe, step and press. This is, the pressing hand down is in front of your belly button. The other hand is relaxed down. And shift forward, and as you shift, you're just expanding out with the left side. The right hand is staying where it is. Now, one of the problems that happens here is when you do this, and you press down, that this hand, this left hand, is behind and below this hand. So then when you go to poke, either you have to poke here or you have to bring it up and then poke. You want to make sure that when you're coming back here, that you're pressing down low enough so that you've cleared this hand, so it can just immediately go in. So this poking hand's in line with your knee, and your body is facing slightly inward. Okay, let's go from the last cloud's hand. Single whip, center, step out, open. Join, pull, step, poke. High pat on horse, plain cross hands. 1, come back. 2, pull into dingbo on toe, replace the foot slightly inward. Then shift forward. Now, I remind you that the poking hands, when you poke like a fist under elbow and various poking movements, the fingers are held, the thumb is held close together here. You don't want to have too big an open hand. This isn't a grabbing hand, it's a poking hand. So we want to concentrate the energy, and you'll probably be poking with your index finger or your middle finger. So keep the thumb there. So when you do this, keep the fingers pretty well together, all right? Don't keep your hand open. And again, any poking, any kind of issuing energy, you have to have it all lined up. You see, you don't want to have angles. If I hit something with any angle, I would lose all sorts of energy. You want to make sure that the arm is relatively straight from, it's like I'm holding a stick in my hand and the whole thing is going, as opposed to holding a willow branch or something like that. Okay? So, once more. Single whip. Toe, heel, push. High pat on horse and plain cross hands. Turn and cross foot kick with sole. We're going to shift the weight back to the right foot, turn in the left toe to 90, straight towards our beginning direction, or even slightly more. So 1, the right hand is dropping down, the left hand is folding, we're turning in the toe. All the weight is on the right foot. Now, the mistake here, and what tends to happen, is as one turns, either you lean here, making it difficult, or what more common is, as you come out, you let the hip extend out. And so now I've lost a lot of my integrity. I don't have the weight in the foot. There's all sorts of tensions I have. So when you do this turn, make sure that you're coming to the inside of this right foot. Don't go to the outside, you'll lose your balance. Inside is proper. So it's turn, shifting, turning, pivot in the toe. This hand comes to protect you, the other hand is now bopping down to the lower body. So it's bonk, bonk. Bonk, 1. Bonk. 1. 1. The second part is shift the weight to the left foot, pivoting on the toe, lift the foot up, bring the hands up, and extend outward and down to the right direction. Bonk. Now, this is one of the few movements that I think it's all right to extend the hands out as the foot goes out. Now, you'll see, those of you who have seen other people do Tai Chi, their tendency is to, when they do like a foot kick, is to have a little, as the foot goes out, the hands do that too. I don't, personally, it's not my style. When I do a foot kick, I've neutralized and my upper body is quiet and the energy is in the bottom. So this is only this one, if you remember, I'm going to use this upper one as a kind of a strike, a strike to Steffi's face as I do this. So it's 1, and this just swings up and kind of interferes with her field of vision, possibly hit her, but it doesn't matter. She's looking at this, and I sneak in that foot kick. And it's going to be in the form, here's the proper direction, it's going to end up straight to the right wall. Okay. Plain cross hands. Turn, shift to the right foot, turn in the left toe, straight to the wall or a little bit more. Shift the weight back, the body is now facing this corner. And finally, open and kick downward with soul. So this, if we were to look at just at this right hand, it goes down and up. Makes a little back and up. Back and up. Back and up. Just a light little swinging motion. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's a light, it's not too big a deal, because this bonk, bonk. Okay? Plain cross hands, turn, and cross foot kick with soul. Okay? So from cross hands. Single whip. Step in, throwing over the leg. Join, pull, out. High pat on horse, plain cross hands. Back, pull in, press down. Step in, and poke. Turn and cross foot kick with soul. 1, 2. Now we're going to do step up and lower punch. So this step is very similar to all the other kind of step ups that we do, where you kind of bring the foot over, and we have possible foot kicks here. So after kick, we step down at a fairly steep direction. Leg is straight. We then brush off, shift your weight onto that foot. Step forward the left foot straight ahead, and we're going to brush. And finally, we're going to punch to the lower belly. Now, most people, when they're punching, tend to wind up. In this case, here I've join and neutralize. Here I join and neutralize. Now if you see, the hand is basically at my side. A lot of people are going to want to wind up here. No, the energy's in front of the body. All you do is just push it out. If I was holding a stick, I would just, from here, push it out. Same with the punch. Just push it out. Push it out. A strike is, a punch is really a push. A punch is a push with a closed object. Okay? It's the same as when you're pushing something. A punch is just, the powerful punches are pushes. The lighter punches are throws. Most punches are pushes. So, this, okay, so once again, from plain cross hands, turn, cross foot kick with sole. Now, brush, shift, roll up on the back toe, body, nose points to the right knee. Step straight ahead, brush, but I haven't shifted the weight forward yet because she's punching, but I'm just brushing, keeping the weight on the right foot. And finally, punch. Body leaning about, not quite a 45-degree angle, just a little bit less. Right? Then we're going to open the hand and brush off. And this time, most of the time when we do this movement, we use the back of the hand for a pong. This time, as we do this movement, it's a little more cutting edge. It's a little more, it looks like kind of like a partition of the wild horse's mane or slanting flying, a little of that kind of energy. So we're going to slice through, turn in the back toe, turn out the front toe, come into your center, step out and slice through with this hand. So the hands are slice, slice, slice. So if I do this facing you, one, relax. As you relax, the left hand kind of comes up. Press down, come into center. Don't lean back here. Come into your quad. Now, slice, turn, turn. Now here comes this slice. It's starting way over here, circles up, and slices through. Then roll back, press forward, and push. Let's do all of this. Single whip. High pattern horse, plain cross hands. Turn. Cross foot kick with sole. Step up and lower punch. Ward off left. Grasping the bird's tail, or right push upward, roll back, press, and push. Okay, let's do this. I'll do this facing you. Single whip. Pull. Step. High pattern horse, plain cross hands. Come fold in. Press down. Step in. And strike. Turn and cross foot kick with sole. Bop, shift, and kick, kick, step, brush, step in, brush, punch downward. I'm going to back up here. Ward off left, brush down, slice, turn in, turn out, gather momentum, slice, roll back, press, and push. Okay, well, we had a lot of movements, but they were all quite similar to things that you've done in the past. I don't think you should have any problems with these. All right. So next week we'll be finishing not finishing the form, but we have another single whip and some really interesting movements. So stay tuned. We have a big, beautiful turn around and kick horizontally movement, which is left. Beautiful movement. Okay, so I will go through all of this, and then as always, today Anna Bachmann is doing our switching, and she will take us out. So thanks Steffi and Gary and Anna, and of course Gary Lemons, Liver Lips Lemons, always. I got him for putting me on the air live last week. Okay, so here we go. I'll do it in the proper direction. I'll go from push. Single whip.